on a Thursday. Yes, it is Rangers Day with Mikey GloveSave. I still think they're going to suck this year. Let me know what you think. Anyway, 3 games tonight. If Mikey GloveSave is going to get this video out to you, he can only cover 2 of these games. So please get on my Twitter. I will get my plays on. I really like the matchup for that 3rd game, but for now, the best I could do is I got to get you these plays for the first 2, and then Mikey has to go. All right, Mikey GloveSave is going to be rolling through these like an auctioneer, starting off with the first game, New York versus Washington. Keep in mind that Natasha Cloud is out, and it looks like Sabrina Ionescu is going to be out. It looks very likely. Anyway, first play, I posted this on Twitter last night. Jonquel Jones over 1.5 3-pointers, -140 on Fanatics. I need not say more. And sticking with Jonquel, over 14.5 points, -125 on Fanatics. Some books have this at 15.5, where the line usually is. I'm surprised that are 2 actually at 14.5. The only reason I think that maybe this dropped a point was because versus Washington previously on May 30th, she hit 14 points. And when they played again on June 5th, she only had 3 points, but she only got 6 minutes of playing time. I think she got injured that game. Other than that, 80% hit rate in the last 5 games. Washington's 10th in the league. Out of 13 teams giving up points to centers, Jonquel Jones over 14.5 points, -125 on Fanatics. Brianna Stewart, the almighty Stewie, over 14.5 points, -110 on DraftKings. We are getting a small price advantage on this. She just had her first game back from injury, scoring 19 points on a minute restriction. Only played 21 minutes versus Connecticut, and if you saw that game was tight. Connecticut's been playing really good defense lately, so that was a great comeback. Indicates that she's fully healthy and ready to play some ball. Now, on May 30th, they blew out Washington. Stewie only scored 10 points in 25 minutes. She got pulled early. Notably closer game versus Washington on April 5th. She played 35 minutes, which is more around her normal time, got 26 points. Now, Natasha Cloud is out. Stewie only missed this line 5 times out of the last 30 games without Natasha Cloud. I love this. I think it should be higher. 14.5 points, Stewie, -110 DraftKings. Leonie Fibich, getting a pretty good price on this, +105 for over 1.5 3-pointers on Fanatics. She's 2 for 2 hitting this versus Washington this year. Now, she only has a 40% hit rate in the last 5 games, 60% rate in the last 10, but her hit rate goes up notably for 3-pointers without Natasha Cloud in the lineup. I don't have any data without Sabrina in the lineup. However, I think that without Sabrina, even though Leonie is a forward, I think that this should open the door for more looks for her. And I'm going to tell you why. You see, I think this game's going to be pretty close. And when you get a close game versus the Liberty, what happens in the 4th quarter? Sabrina starts hitting those 3-point fadeaway nukes. Well, lately she hasn't been hitting them, but she's been shooting them. And usually they rely on that to get them back in the game or to get a nice lead. So if she's not there for those 3-pointers that they normally rely on, that should increase the 3-point attempts for a 3-point shooting forward like Leonie. So we get her a few more attempts, plus Washington is 10th in giving up 3-pointers to forwards, 11th in attempts. This is a great price for this. Leonie Fibich over 1.5 3-pointers, +105 on Fanatics. Sabrina Ionescu under 5.5 assists. But Mikey GloveSave, you said Sabrina is probably going to be out. Yeah, it looks very likely that she's going to be out. But if she's not, does she hit 5.5 assists very often? No. Only 40% hit rate in the last 5, 10, and 15 games. Now, this is +130 on Caesars. So if she plays, if she does play, it's likely not going to be her full minutes. So if she struggles with hitting this line anyway, don't you think that maybe she would struggle hitting it even more with less playing time? Now, let's say worst case scenario, she ends up not playing. It gets voided. No big deal. Sabrina, under 5.5 assists, +130 on Caesars. And the guard for Washington, Shug Sutton, the Shuganator, over 12.5 points and assists, -115 on BetMGM. I actually like this play a little bit, even with Ionescu in the lineup, but she does have a 60% hit rate on this. New York is 9th in giving up points and assists to guards. Now, if Sabrina is out, which it looks like she is, then this line becomes even more attainable. Shug Sutton over 12.5 points and assists, -115 BetMGM. On to game 2, Seattle versus Minnesota. Skylar Diggins over 5.5 assists, plus 102 on FanDuel. 60% hit rate in the last 5 games, 70% in the last 10. And of those, the last 2 games she played, she smoked this with 11 and 8. And in one of those recent games also, they played Atlanta, which is a very, very good team, and she also smoked this line with another 11 versus them. She's 2 for 3 clearing this versus Minnesota this year. Now, Minnesota is first in preventing assists from guards, but you know what I'm going to say. In honor of my boy Smokey, I don't give up. And my girl Nafisa Collier, over 30.5 points and rebounds. Where the hell did I get that? Did I write that down? Yeah, minus 115 on Caesars. 80% hit rate in the last 5 games, 70 in the last 10. Now, take out the game that they played versus Vegas when she was pulled out early because she got injured. Now, that 80% goes to 90% hit rate. She smokes this line. She just hit 41 points and rebounds in her triumphant return versus Indiana recently. So, she's healthy. She's going to be getting her full playing time. Nafisa Collier over 30.5 points and rebounds, minus 115 on Caesars. Kayla McBride over 3.5 assists, plus 120 on Fanatics. 60% hit rate in the last 5 games, 70% in the last 10. And out of 3 games from those that she did not hit was with Nafisa Collier out of the lineup. She's 2 for 3 clearing this versus Seattle this year, only getting 3 in the early game in May, and then she went 6 and then another 6. Kayla McBride over 3.5 assists. I think plus 120 is a great price for this on Fanatics. We're going to stick with Kayla here. Over 2.5 3-pointers, plus 120 on Fanatics. 60% hit rate in the last 5 and 10 games. Now, the last 5 games they played versus Seattle, 80% hit rate. Last 10 games versus Seattle, 71% hit rate. I don't know how they got 71. Anyway, she's 2 for 3 clearing this line versus Seattle already this year. And the one game that she didn't hit it was without Nafisa. And we have Nafisa back, so we'll get a couple extra dishes from Nafisa back out to the 3-point line. Let Kayla drop some nukes and we will have a nice cash. Brittany Sykes under 14.5 points and rebounds at even money. We're getting this at plus 100 on BetMGM, and BetMGM is the only site that has this prop available. Now, Minnesota is second in preventing points and assists to guards. Brittany has a 60% hit rate in the last 5 and 10 games, but 0% hit rate against Minnesota in the past 2 years. Now, you know Mikey GloveSave doesn't like bringing up old shit, but I think that this speaks volumes. She only played versus Minnesota 1 time this year, and she went way under this with 9. So we are going to go Brittany Sykes under 14.5 points and assists, plus 100, bet MGM. And our final play of the video, not of the night, but of the video, because you're going to tune into my tweeter later for my Game 3 picks, right? Courtney Williams over 13.5 points, plus 115 on Fanatics. We are getting a 15-cent price advantage on this. And on top of that, Mikey GloveSave likes to play. She's hit this 2 of 3 games versus Seattle so far this year with 20 and 23 points. 60% hit rate in the last 5 and 10 games. I will gladly take Courtney Williams over 13.5 points for plus 115 on Fanatics. And that's going to do it for your boy Mikey GloveSave here on this Thursday. Please like, subscribe, follow, tell your homies to make it seem like Mikey GloveSave doesn't feel like he's totally wasting time putting out these videos. I'll see you on Twitter tonight with my Game 3 picks. Good day, Mikey GloveSave out.